Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting Small Engine Saturday. I'm your host, the Duckman. Ha ha ha! Behind me here is the Volkswagen Bus Go-Kart. There's the body to it. We're putting this thing together for a raffle giveaway for next year's Volkswagen show in 2025. Now, we're doing it in 2024. Let's just remind everybody that bought tickets. If you bought a ticket for it in 2024, we're going to postpone it to 2025, and we're giving you a free raffle ticket for the Volkswagen guitar that we're raffling this year. So you're not losing anything. You're actually gaining something. Anyways, I got a very small niche audience that loves my go-kart stuff, and if I don't make them, they request them big time. So if you guys keep asking, I'm going to keep making them, and that's why we're here today, to make go-kart videos. Now, if you don't like the go-kart videos, hang around till tomorrow. Eleanor update. You heard me right. Eleanor will be back tomorrow. Yeah, by the time you guys are watching this, tomorrow. Watch for it. Anyways, this is the go-kart down here. You know, we've been putting that cart underneath that body, trying to make everything fit on it. I got the smaller engine put on there. Well, I'm sorry. Why'd I say that? Smaller engine is there. The bigger engine is what we put on there. With that said, any of my small engine needs, where do I go? I go to the HIPA Store.
The HIPA Store! The HIPA Store is a company that sells parts for outdoor power equipment, even some parts for go-karts. Recently, we had Hurricane Francine tear through the South, upsetting the lives of many folks in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and others. But one of our fans listened to my recommendation and got his generator ready before the storm. And if you don't believe me, look here.
All right, here's a shout out to the Duckman. We got this hurricane in the Gulf coming towards South Louisiana right now. HIPA Store got this carb. Went through several knockoffs that were just as cheap. Did not match or line up. This one was a perfect match for this Briggs & Stratton motor. Came with several choke options that you just change out. This matched perfect. I also had a fuel tank not putting out fuel. This, got it from Amazon, but it is from the HIPA Store. 2-day prime shipping. Shut off, grommet, hose, fuel filter. All came in the package. It was great. Now, but all in all, Duckman, great recommendation on the HIPA Store.
The hurricane season is in full effect, and if your power equipment is not ready to go, this may be your last chance. Remember, the HIPA Store has all the parts you need for most major name brands. So please, check out the HIPA Store for the links down below in the video description, because when you support the HIPA Store, you also support the creation of my new videos. Special thanks again to the HIPA Store for sponsoring this video.
Alright, we are back. I'll tell you what, guys, I had this body back on the cart, and I put the small engine on that seat just to keep it dry, because Hurricane Francine came on tearing through here, and while the wind wasn't too bad, it rained here for something like 8-9 days, and today's the first day I'm actually seeing completely blue skies without a cloud to be seen anywhere. Otherwise, most of the day it's even been cloudy even earlier today, and it was raining earlier this morning. Finally, we got a break in things, and we can start moving on stuff again, so I started making a little progress on this. Now, remember, the steering shaft didn't line up, because when we shortened this thing, which was 10.5 inches or something, we had to cut a lot of length out of this thing to make that wheelbase fit this body. In order to make it fit, well, when I dragged the front end in here, it changed the angle of the steering shaft. Now, you see the steering shaft is lined up, and I currently have vice grips on there, and I just started to tack it together, and I said, Duckman, you're getting way ahead of yourself. You need to make a video out of this. This actually turned out to be a lot easier than what I expected. And down here at the steering mount at the bottom, I just made a slice into it. I didn't cut it all the way through. I cut it about halfway through, and I did that on purpose because then I could snap vice grips on here and I could bend this down. And that brought the steering angle back to where it should be, because before it was coming through this way. This steering shaft on the top one, because remember it's split here, this one was way up here like this. So what I did was I put 2 cuts in here vertically, and then bent the steering shaft, brought it back down to action. And the steering shaft is actually exactly the right length. If it were any shorter, I'd have problems with the steering nuts hitting the top of the frame here. And that actually still maybe even be a problem. Well, I guess it's not. But earlier it was, but for some reason it's not now. Well, I'll just verify that everything is indeed going to fit before I start welding it all together solid. Down in here, I tacked that on real quick. It's just a washer on the top to stop the steering shaft from falling down, because there was nothing retaining this. I guess the steering wheel hub is actually stopping the shaft from falling in. I can't see any other reason. Everything's welded solid. It looks like it was never meant to be taken apart. So, well, we're continuing with that campaign, and I put a washer on here, and boy, did I put some ugly welds on that. But my mask at the time was so sweated I couldn't see what was going on. Now, it's not that hot out here because since the hurricane came, even before the hurricane, I actually had a little chilly the other night. I could have even worn a sweater in the evening. It was breezy, and it was 75, which is chilly for us here because we've been hanging around, you know, high 90s for the whole friggin' last half of the summer, and then suddenly the immediate drop in temperature, and my body hasn't adjusted to it yet. Anyways, my mask was just sweated over earlier from the humidity being so high up. Right now, like I said, the clouds have disappeared, and it's a lot better out here, but I couldn't see what I was doing. So I did the best that I could, and boy, did I make a mess out of that. But anyway, I'll grind it down, and I'm going to finish up the weld on it and make it look nice. Right now, what the task is, weld this shaft together, weld the bead through here in that split that I made, and then the steering on this should essentially be done. I do have to fix a little bit here because right now the steering wheel is straight, and you see that wheel is somewhat straight. I have to play with the alignment on it, but that one is kicked way in. But this is the side, as we mentioned before, it looks like it had an accident, as this is this is really bad. Those are not my welds. This is the way I received this frame, and I didn't realize it was quite in as bad a shape as it was. But this is stuff I can either clean up these welds or just cut it off completely and re-weld it back on there. So I'll see what I can do with that, but I haven't gotten that far yet. I do like this strut that they added, but they probably added that because their welds were crap. As you look at this side, there's no strut there at all. And I think for strength's sake, a strut from here to here is probably good, and another strut from here to here would also be good. Especially if you drive a go-kart like I do, like a complete a-hole. Well, never mind me. Ranchero 302 Me is the guy. We started calling him, Crash Bandicoot. Because that guy just runs into everything. He gets a drink or two in him, and man, he jumps the hedges. Like, how the hell did you go through the hedges so quickly? And he's like, I don't know, I never did it before. It's just straight through the bushes. And somehow doesn't flip the cart or don't, yeah, anyway. It's amazing. Drunk superpowers. You get a couple of, alcoholic drinks in you, and you become Superman, and you pull off things that are, physics. You defy physics and the laws of physics. It's just, yeah, absolutely impossible. There's the ducks. They're doing quite well. All right, I got the welder out already. So I'm just going to go ahead and tack this stuff together, see if we can get this squared away. It'd be nice to have this steering. And then here's the controls, foot controls. You see, the pedal goes up like that. And this rod at the bottom here is cut off. Did that on purpose because, again, I had to cut out something like 10.5 inches or something like that out of it. When I shortened the frame, I had to shorten the rods, too. So, before we get the engine perma-mounted, I'll probably flip the cart over and then get those things attached properly as well. And then we can hook up the brakes, we can hook up the throttle cable, and then, once the engine's bolted back in, it should run and drive. And I'm excited. This thing's kind of a little weird, short wheelbase on this thing. We have this big Predator 301 engine on it, which makes 2.5 times the torque of that. And I know how big of a difference that is, because on my own KT196 go-kart that I lengthened, I swapped those engines, went to the bigger one, and that thing made a night and day difference, especially for somebody as big as I am. That 301 engine was really, really what you want to ride for an adult, a normal-sized human being adult, such as I am. Minimum size for a go-kart right there. Sure, a 420 or something would be nice, or even one of the new 500s that they have out now would also be really nice, but it's probably a bit too much for these thin-framed go-kart. Anyway, who knows? Maybe I'll build something bigger in the future. We'll see what the future brings. Anyway, enough yada yada yada. Let's get some welding done. I want to see if I can get this thing squared away. So we have some functional steering tonight. That way I can give an update to all my fans and to the Volkswagen Club members, because they're all asking about it, even though we're not raffling it this year. All right, and I know Wild Bill appreciates these videos too, so shouts to Wild Bill. All right, thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back as soon as we get the welding equipment out, and let's start tacking things together. Yeah, I see you, buddy. Biddy's inside because he was screaming his ass off, and for some reason Peanut, who's his son, has taken over for the screaming for some reason today. He's been absolutely obnoxious, and even though he's got his screaming collar on, which significantly lowers his volume, somehow he managed to either figure out how to make his scream work, or he's loosening it up enough that he can still scream. I don't know what his deal is. Oh, one more update on him too. This little guy, Pecan over here, or Sol, the Solar Eclipse baby, might be a father soon. I set him up with my Cheeky, and every day they get a little action together, and then I bring her inside so he doesn't beat her up. But yeah, they get a little playtime once or twice a day, and we got some eggs, and the eggs just started to spot, and I got some veins in them, so he may be a father, which means you're a grandpa, and Biddy, who's inside, will be a great-grandfather. And then Mama Chicken, who actually was the grandmother, or the super grandmother of everybody, is actually going to be a great grandmother, even though she's gone now, and that breaks my heart. We lost her last spring, but she would have been a great grandmother. Anyway, got a little inbreeding going on. I don't want to push it for too many generations, so we're going to get some new chickens soon. Anyway, the video's not about chickens. Let's get back on this cart, and we'll talk more about the chickens later if I feel like it. I got some more projects I want to talk about too, so I got some more things coming up. Got some cars shifted around up front. Oh boy, I don't know why I'm putting this off, but I am. Duckman, just get to work. All right, well, that's a little ugly. That's nothing the grinder can't clean up. Same with under there. I gotta hit all this wire wheel anyway before we paint it. But it works. Look at that. Well, I gotta admit, it's nice seeing that in one piece. Like I said, I gotta get in there with a grinder and a wire wheel and clean all this stuff up because it looks like shit. Boy, it's still hot. Still smoking the paint down the shaft. But there should get it. It's ugly as hell, like I said. I'm a little out of practice welding, but yeah, I could have done better. Probably had the wire speed up too high. By the time you get finished testing the wire, though, on here, you're done welding. I didn't have to weld that much. Alright, good to go. Doing that on purpose, see if anything breaks, and it did not. Okay, I think we're going to be good on that one. Nice to see steering on it. Alright, this week I'll flip it over and I'll finish welding together the push rods, the brakes and throttle. That stuff that's just like welding that together. It's not even something I'm going to make a video out of. I will cover probably the final mounting of the engine though. And then of course I have to finish welding the rear end of the frame back on here too. Whatever fits the body on. Wild Bill's always really excited to talk about the hinges on the frame to mount the body so the body opens up funny car style. And I keep reminding him, it's like, you know, paint and trim stuff, it goes on last. Gotta get the go-kart functional first. Oh, I forgot, we gotta change that bolt out yet. The bolt that I had that came with the clutch. Look what the weather has done to this already. This is brand new, guys. That's amazing. China for you. Totally ruined the galvanization, the zinc that's on the surface there. Alright, engine looks good though. It's been in the rain a couple times. In fact, as many times as the clutch has. Alright, well, it even looks like it was sitting in a puddle. It must have just been the rain droplets sticking to the bottom of it as it was dripping off. Alright, well, guess that's it for the go-kart stuff. Little short one today. Nice, quick, and easy. It's good to see that steering working. I expected that to be a much bigger deal. I was going to cut everything all apart on that and just start rebuilding things, and no, I didn't have to. The skid plate will probably even still fit. This is the skid plate here. Let's try it on there just for shits and grins. Look how banged up it is. Previous owner crashed it out. I guess I should do a little body work on that. Oh yeah, it fits just fine. Hey, clearing everything. There's no reason to be worried about any of that. Okay, good. Alright, that's going to wrap up the go-kart for the week then. We'll get another update on it next week for another small engine Saturday. I got some lawnmowers I got to fix around here too, so. And I want to take my cart out, because David says he's going to start working on his. Ranchero 302 me, shout out, give him a subscription. He's a wild man. We do a lot of stuff together. In fact, I'm going to see him tonight for hamburgers. He offered me to come over for some smash burgers. He makes some good burgers, guys. There's a reason why Duckman has this. Alright, let's wrap it up and let's go up front and I'll show you some of the other things we're working on. This is something nice. Before it started raining this week, I actually fixed my gate. Looks like we need two hands to open it for a change. But it was never level, and now it is. Now, get that bubble in there. Yeah, well, it looks like it's leaning a little bit to one side. It's high over there. Not a surprise. It shifted after all the rain and stuff. I'm sure it probably caused some of the wood to swell, but it's level enough. It's a fucking gate, right? Alright, let me get this thing open. Yeah, it took 2 hands to unlatch it. No big deal. But now I can actually swing it, and it'll hang from its hinge versus dragging on the ground. See? Isn't that nice? Good. Okay. Z's parked over here for the moment because we got a 1974 bus over here. And it looks like butt rappers coming down the street here with loud music, so we're going to take a break for a moment because it's copyrighted crap. Alright, and we're back. This is a 1974 Volkswagen bus, which replaced the 1974 Stupid Beetle that was here earlier. You might remember I patched up that hole that was on it. I didn't bother to make a video of it because you saw me patch up another 1974 Stupid Beetle in exactly the same spot on the opposite side last year. So I didn't think it was necessary to make another video, but here's a couple shots of it up on the screen just so you know. But this one came in to replace it. This one, the story I got from the owner is it just needs a tune-up checkup and, get it running right. When it got dropped off, I was quite surprised and maybe even a little rattled that it hadn't been run or driven since 1998. So this thing has been sitting idle for a very, very long time. Indoors, though, I might add. It was in a garage, which is good. He did say that he pulled the engine out and did a complete rebuild on it, never having done one before himself, which either say, good on you, or that could be quite frightening. So it is a Type 4. I don't know what we're getting into yet. I do see that the carburetors on there have no air cleaners, and I don't know how long they've been parked that way. There's also some cooling seal that goes around the engine compartment. It's not been installed. That's something that I need to handle. A little Beetlejuice swirl going on there on the fan. Otherwise, the task is not just to get it tuned up, rather, but to actually get it running and then go through and find any other problems that I find along the way. But that's a task on this one. And I don't know what I'm getting into. I mean, it could be easy. I might just make a couple of adjustments here and there, check the timing, play with this and that, and it runs just fine. Those carburetors that were in there have never run on this engine before, and those are Weber ICTs. You've seen me work with those in the past. This is a Type 4 engine. I don't know what size it is. I guess I should probably ask the owner. But those carburetors probably need to be rejetted for the size of the engine. They probably have to go up just a couple sizes. Not too much. Not too terribly much. On a typical 1600, you can get away with the sizes that come in it without too much of a change. Maybe go up a size or two. But on this engine, I don't know. It might even be a 2-liter in here. I don't know what he's got. For a 74, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that was the year for the 1700. So, alright. Gives you a little idea as to what's going on. Otherwise, yeah, this thing is in some nice shape. A little bit of a mess, a little dirty, but it's in some nice shape. I don't know what's going on here. Something else for me to deal with, I guess. Don't need any wires shorting out. Starting fires here. Yeah, there's all this kinds of stuff is all laying around. Yeah, so anyway, I got my hands full on this. It was not at all what I was expecting. Down the road, I got a Beetle. It needs an engine installed. I got a single cab, 60-something single cab, split window single cab. That it's got some wiring issues. In fact, I did some wiring on it with Wild Bill, not but a couple months ago. And the owner since took up for a couple drives, and he said he saw some smoke under the dashboard and some stuff stopped working. So I don't know what that could be. Probably something shorted and a fuse blew. Now we just got to figure out what shorted, fix it, and then, of course, replace the fuse. So, anyway, we'll get to that. But that's a 74 bus. A little more excitement for the Duckman's driveway. And yeah, it's in the driveway crooked. That's the way the owner unloaded it. I mean, it just came here in the rain the other night. I told him, if you want it in, I said, you got to beat everybody else. First come, first serve around here. I'm making these videos, and I don't stop making videos. So, if you want in, we can't mess around. You got to get it here. And he did. He drove 3 hours to bring it to me. It's amazing. I get cars from all over the Southeast. Everybody wants a Duckman to work on their stuff. Well, I'm very thankful. I need to get a shop. Then I can actually run a business. Wouldn't that be nice? Imagine that. Anyways, thanks for watching, you guys. Special thanks again to the HIPA Store, as always, for supporting us and sponsoring these videos. And thanks, you guys, for watching. Licky, like it, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to pluck that dingle bell so you get updates every time I upload a video. Check out duckshit.net for all of my different social media links. And we'll be back, hopefully tomorrow, with another exciting Eleanor video. That's right. Eleanor's making a comeback. Big electronic updates. Got some stuff coming to show you guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.